Hello, I am the proud principal of Edsel Ford High School, Scott Casebolt. I would like to call on Mr. Atef Hashim, our 2020 student class president, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please let me take a moment and thank our administrative team at Edsel Ford. Assistant principals Mr. Pete Kochianis and Mr. Khalid Abdullah. Our math coordinator, Ms. Dana Addis. Our language arts coordinator, Ms. Gretchen Bajorek. Our student and parent community liaison, Ms. Yasmin Nasser. And our counseling staff, Ms. Hella Mohammed, Mr. Abraham Beydoun, Mr. Craig Kiefer, and Ms. Gail Welmers. Our graduation intervention specialist, Mr. Kareem Naimi, and his team of at-risk advisors, Ms. Samira Daklela and Ms. Mary Pop. Mr. Robert Doyle, Edsel Ford Choir Director, Ms. Sarah Brookhuizen, Edsel Ford Band Director. And let me please acknowledge and thank the entire Edsel Ford faculty and staff. Thank you for all of your efforts and care for our entire school throughout the year, especially 2020. Our next speaker is the class of 2020 senior class president as voted by his peers. I am proud to introduce to you Mr. Atef Hashim.
Good morning, everyone. I hope y'all are doing well. It's been a tumultuous last few months, but I'm so proud of all the Edsel seniors who, although had so many of the experiences that have been a quintessential part of the American high school experience taken away from them, stayed home and prioritized the safety of themselves, their families, and our community. I still remember the first day I walked into Edsel Ford. I had transferred from another school my freshman year, and I know this might sound cliche, but I knew it was home. This was not because of any material reason, but because we had and still have amazing people. Over the last 4 years, I have seen the Edsel spirit in action. I have seen Edsel students who themselves did not come from wealth give up so much of their time and resources to help better our community. I have seen them stand with each other and help each other no matter what. I have seen them exemplify the characteristics that we try so hard to ingrain in our society. I must also thank our Edsel Ford staff who went far beyond what is expected of them and not only helped us learn the Pythagorean theorem and literary devices, but also helped us grow as people. So I urge you all, especially in times like these, to remember the Edsel spirit as you begin your adult lives. Do not let hate cloud your judgment, because our strength comes from our love and support for each other. As newly minted adult citizens of this country, I urge you all to go out and vote this November as well, because as we learned here at Edsel Ford, hate has no home in our community. We must all stand together as one, and only then can we truly change our country for the better. Thank you, fellow graduates, students, and staff, and everyone who made this possible. This has been a journey that we'll all remember. Stay safe.
Well done, Atef. Thank you. Please help me welcome our student at large speaker, who was selected by a team of school officials to represent the student body at large through a speech submission format. Please help me welcome our speaker, Ms. Gadir El-Hali.
Class of 2020. Born into the tragic era of 9/11 and graduating within the pandemic year of COVID-19, we are the class to remember. In my heart, I believe this is not a coincidence, nor is it a curse upon our age group. It is instead a blessing that has prepared us from our first days on this earth to be the ones who handle heartache and uncertainty better than anyone has ever seen. We were destined to be born and to graduate into such fearful times where the world has stopped and fallen apart. There is going to be a new normal, and we will be the ones with the keys that open the doors to our futures, and the ones who show everybody in doubt that staying together even when we are apart got us through all of this. COVID-19 took over our lives unexpectedly and took away the lives of many others. May they all rest in peace. And I hope that God grants everyone mourning the loss of a loved one today the strength to get through it. We lived in fear of the unknown for a while, but our administration and staff members made sure that not a single Thunderbird fell off track with their education, nor did they allow us to lose hope in being recognized like they believed we deserved. Although we missed out on a lot of opportunities and senior moments, I believe that Edsel Ford has granted me many opportunities and allowed me to take part in many experiences that have shown me that being a Thunderbird is one of the greatest blessings I've been granted in this lifetime. Whether it was being under those Friday night lights, watching the sight of the baby powder fill the air after touchdowns, or ripping the posters off the walls of our gym to reveal the thousands of dollars we raised during our legendary charity weeks, or the sounds of our screams and shouts of excitement filling the gym because as high school students we were impacting the world, saving lives and making a difference. Every moment I spent being a T-Bird has created some of the best parts of me, not just as a high schooler, but as a human being overall. I believe Edsel Ford has played a part in who we've become as people just as much as we've played a role in continuing to grow its brand and legacy. 4 years ago, we were freshmen who sat together as the class of 2020 for the first time in orientation, and we trusted complete strangers who called themselves Link Leaders to show us all there was to love about this school, and to teach us of all the opportunities coming our way that we could take advantage of. While they made the school look better than any building I visited, fear was one of the greatest feelings I was battling inside. Fear I wouldn't have any friends, fear I wouldn't be fond of the classes I would be taking, or even the teachers I'd meet. However, I think I can speak on behalf of the class of 2020 today and admit that here we are 4 years later, and the only fear we are left with is the fear of losing the friendships we've built with our peers and the bonds we've created with our staff members. My freshman year, Edsel Ford wasn't the school I had in mind because my friends weren't joining me here, but it was a school I remained at because of boundary guidelines. Then, during my sophomore year, my family bought a new house and Edsel was a school I was almost forced to leave. But waking up at 6 a.m., excited to come to school, was a new feeling no other place had given me before. And I knew that being at Edsel Ford was the one thing I wanted more than anything in the world. After some paperwork with the district and a conversation with my principal, Mr. Casebolt, thankfully it was made possible that I remained exactly where I belonged. And now my 2 younger siblings will soon follow in my footsteps as Thunderbirds. Edsel went from being the last place I wanted to be to the only place I wanted to be in the matter of less than a year. Something about the school drew me closer to it, and it wasn't just the fact that my teachers quickly became some of my favorite people, or the fact that I found myself being at school events with my friends so enjoyable. To our teachers, thank you for all the sacrifices you've made and all the hard work you've put forth to shape us into for our futures, and for treating us like your own children. You all ensured that your classrooms are always a safe place for us to come into every day and learn something new, even if it didn't pertain to your subjects. Or just to have a heartfelt conversation with you guys that assured us you cared for us as individuals just as much as you cared for us as your students. In the words of the great Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, a legend who left his mark in the year 2020, we don't quit, we don't cower, we don't run, we endure and we conquer. So to my fellow classmates, don't be fearful of failure or anything this world brings your way. Endure and conquer every challenge and aim for every goal, even the ones that seem impossible. Failure is inevitable, but failure is a step closer to where you're pushing yourself to be. You must fail in order to succeed. We have had the best of times and the worst of times, and certainly overcome the toughest of times. At Edsel Ford, we are a family, always and forever. When push comes to shove in your futures, always remember you were once a Thunderbird, and nothing will stand in your way because you are living proof of a brand and legacy. Proof of a school that is unique and united, and proof that your Thunderbird spirits will forever have grit, because we are Edsel Ford. To the class of 2020, we did it. And by that, I don't just mean we graduated, but we got through this pandemic and overcame the sorrows and sadness we felt because of everything that was taken away from us due to COVID-19. As someone at Richmond Heights in Ohio said, born in the shadows of 9/11 attacks, graduating during a pandemic, 2020 students were destined for greatness. Seniors, congratulations.
Great job, Gadir. Thank you. As a school community, we also have to thank our parent organizational supporters who provide our students with so much. Thank you to Miss Katie Hetrick, President of Edsel Ford PTSA and proud Edsel parent. Also, Miss Shannon Manzewski, Edsel Ford Booster Club President and proud Edsel parent. Also, Miss Annalise Heaton, Crescendo Club President and proud Edsel parent. Thank you to your members and parents that give so much of their time and efforts to maximize opportunities for our kids. Every class has honors awarded to its highest academic achievers. For the Edsel Ford class of 2020, it is my honor to recognize Edsel Ford's class of 2020 valedictorian, Mr. Ahmed Al-Shamam. Our class of 2020 valedictorian has accumulated a 4.33 grade point average. He is a remarkable student who has made his parents very proud. His future plans include attending the University of Michigan Dearborn, where he is undecided on a major, but has shared numerous goals to consider when he finally makes that choice. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Ahmed Al-Shamam, the Edsel Ford class of 2020 valedictorian. It is also my honor to recognize Edsel Ford's class of 2020 salutatorian, Miss Samantha Davies. Our class of 2020 salutatorian is also a high achiever and has accumulated a 4.28 grade point average. She has worked very hard to earn her way to the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, where she will study environmental engineering. Her future goals include studying abroad in Germany. Please join me in congratulating Miss Samantha Davies, Edsel Ford's class of 2020 salutatorian. Edsel Ford High School has a long-standing tradition of the passing of the gavel, which is the symbol of student leadership. I would like to call upon Mr. Atef Hashim, our outgoing senior class president, to come forward for the presentation of the senior ceremony. Receiving the gavel is the class of 2021 president, Miss Bella Onyefrak. Every team has a leader. Our leader is Dr. Glenn Malenko. He is working tirelessly to bring change, success, and rigor despite many financial and ever-changing education standards and laws. He continues to challenge us on a daily basis to improve student achievement and parent involvement. Dr. Malenko continues to provide our school and provide a clear vision for our district. Please help me welcome Dearborn Public Schools Superintendent, Dr. Glenn Malenko.
Greetings, Thunderbirds. There's a very popular poem by Robert Frost that is often used as part of a graduation speech. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled. The quote is used because it reinforces a message about taking chances or not being afraid to take on new experiences and expand your knowledge base. All very inspirational and an appropriate message for graduating seniors, most graduating seniors. Given how 2020 has unfolded for all of you and the way this school year ended, I don't think that any traditional quote can accurately reflect the events of this school year. I'm reminded of a very similar quote by comedian Jerry Seinfeld, who said, "Sometimes the road less traveled is less traveled for a reason." If 2020 is that less traveled road, I think we can all agree there is absolutely no reason to go down this road again. No amount of exploration or character building can justify another journey on Highway 2020. I'm sorry this year's graduates had to miss out on so many of the traditions and celebrations that are part of a senior year experience. It may bring no comfort to know that you are not alone, that thousands of other graduates also missed out on these experiences. The old saying that misery loves company brings no solace or greater understanding. Given what all of you have lived through, the experiences, the emotions, and the reality of the situation, this class, more than any other class, will be remembered for many years to come. You will be the one unique class that missed out, but in many ways gained so much more than any other class ever has or ever will. Living through this experience will make the class of 2020 the most talked about class for years to come, and what you do that will truly determine the legacy of this class. One of my favorite authors, Stephen Covey, writes, "Just as we develop our physical muscles through overcoming opposition, such as lifting weights, we develop our character muscles by overcoming challenges and, of course, adversity." This year was a challenge. You went from learning in classrooms to learning in Google Hangouts and Zoom meetings. Common routines became anything but common. And maybe the part that hurt the most was not being able to say goodbye to teachers, coaches, and classmates. So this year's challenges were an opportunity to exercise those character building muscles, strengthen your core values, develop your integrity, and grow your ability to overcome adversity. Now it is up to you. Decide how you will use the experiences of the last several months. Will you place blame? Will you ignore the lessons to be learned and let the opportunity pass? Or will you build upon what you have learned, turn it into an opportunity for growth, and move ahead armed with the knowledge that you are capable of overcoming the disappointments in your life? Oh yes, I said disappointments with an S, because there will be more. A friendship that doesn't blossom, a job that isn't offered, an opportunity that never comes. These disappointments are part of life, but they are also part of growing and learning how to be successful. Boxing icon Muhammad Ali said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." Class of 2020, you are ready to live the rest of your life as champions. I'm confident in your abilities and your resolve to complete your journey in life. Your success will not be measured by the wealth you accumulate or the titles that are earned. Your success will be measured by the citizens that you become. Seniors, I look forward to hearing about your future success. On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to congratulate all of the graduates. It has been a long journey to reach this point. A journey that started 13 years ago and saw historic events unfold around the world. A journey that has prepared a new group of young adults to be the next generation of leaders. I hope that the years in our classrooms have been a great experience for you, filled with friendships, challenges, fun, and of course, lifelong learning. Congratulations. I truly wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you, graduates. Way to go.
To all the Dearborn Public High School graduates, congratulations. I'm Debbie Dingle, your Congresswoman, and I just want to say how proud I am of all of you on this great occasion of your graduation. I know these times aren't what you wanted them to be. You wanted to have parties and celebrate and be with your friends and celebrate these transition moments. Well, there's other ways that you can do it. And I think that there's a silver lining because it makes you appreciate your friends more, want to be with them. And you got to work harder to connect with them and stay connected. So I say to you, as something I say to everybody when they're graduating, technology keeps us from having human relationships. So keep working at those friends. They're going to be the best ones you'll have for life. And as you move on, remember who they are because they know who you are and you will be friends for life. So on this day of graduation, I want to wish you much love, luck, and laughter. And know that it is you, your hard work, dedication that got you here today. And my final advice is my favorite quote from Dr. Seuss. Life is too short to wake up in the morning with regrets. So love the people who treat you right. Forget about the ones who don't. And believe that everything happens for a reason. If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said life would be easy, but they promised you it would be worth it. Congratulations. This is the first day of the rest of your life.
Greetings, class of 2020. There's always another bus coming. What goes around comes around. And of course, the sun will come up tomorrow. You may or may not have heard these phrases before, but the theme is obvious. We live in a world where routine and cycles are not only common, but expected. 2020 has proven to be anything but routine or common. Across the country and around the world, millions of people have changed their way of life in order to keep themselves and others safe. It has not been easy, and many of us have felt the disappointment of not being able to take part in anticipated events and celebrations. It is natural to be disappointed, to be sad, and maybe even feel that life has been a bit unfair. More important, how will you use this life experience to become a better person and make a difference in the days ahead? You cannot let the situation define who you are. Rather, you must define yourself by what you have learned and how you have grown by experiencing this situation. And here's the best part. You are not alone. Just over 100 years ago, people around the world, including right here in our state, were dealing with a very similar situation caused by the spread of the Spanish flu. It is estimated that 50 million people worldwide and 675,000 in the U.S. died during the 1917 pandemic. People were ordered to stay at home, social distance, and wear masks. Does that sound familiar? Events were canceled and celebrations were postponed. That does sound familiar. Those students who lived through the pandemic of 1917 did not let the event define who they were. They became the leaders that helped win 2 world wars, the scientists and engineers that created technology to put a man on the moon, started new businesses that helped build a strong economy, and became involved in their communities to bring about social change. These graduates became known as the greatest generation. Class of 2020, do not let disappointments of missing out on the celebrations and traditions of graduation define you. Own this moment. Own this time. Start your next chapter knowing that you are stronger, having lived through a difficult life experience. Channel the emotions, share the knowledge, and use this experience as part of the building blocks to your success. Historians will write about this year, and people will talk about 2020 for decades. And here you are, the generation that can be responsible for bringing about the change that is needed, not just here in our great country, but around the world. That only happens if you make it happen. You can't wait for the other guy. In the words of President Obama, keep exploring, keep dreaming, keep asking why. Don't settle for what you already know. Never stop believing in the power of your ideas, your imagination, your hard work to change the world. You don't need to be an elected official, leader of business, or groundbreaking scientist to bring about change. All you need is to be a good citizen, a good person. Vote in every election. Take care of your family. Treat others as you wish to be treated. Be part of the community. Get involved and stand up for what you know is right and just. Each of these small steps can bring about great change to our world. This is how the class of 2020 will be remembered. Not the class that missed senior prom or commencements, but the class that decided their generation was ready to step up and be the next greatest generation. The world's watching. No pressure, but I know all of you have it in you to do it. Congratulations on all of your success. I wish you all the best as you move beyond the Dearborn Public Schools to the next stop in your journey. We have played a role in preparing you for the road ahead. Now it is up to you to complete the trip. Class of 2020, again, I congratulate you and wish you success in your future.
Now please allow me to share a few thoughts. Hello, class of 2020. As I have said over and over, you are our class to remember. First and foremost, we are here today to salute each one of you for your academic accomplishments during your last 4 years here at Edsel Ford High School. You are individually and collectively social justice warriors, scholars, and unselfish heroes of an unprecedented time. During the happiest and sometimes most memorable times of your lives, the world has changed in ways that we could never have imagined or adequately prepared for. We share your understandable frustration that stems from canceled traditions, ceremonies, and celebrations. But today, we put all that aside. Today is your moment, your time, and we are going to give you your own personal, individualized graduation memory that you worked so hard for and so deserve. While much of the nation suffers from COVID, financial instability, racial tension, and the uncertainty of many businesses and industries, like our sudden switch to remote learning to close this academic year, you all demonstrated the strength to overcome and conquer this new reality that we will all continue to adapt to for years to come. While in the middle of this global change, it is vital that we take the time today to celebrate your effort, resilience, and grit. You are here today because you all met the requirements of your curriculum and credits earned. But your story is much more than that. Your story must include the fact that you were forced to learn life's sometimes hardest lessons, that nothing is promised and tomorrow is never certain. While you may or may not have realized it, your adjustment and adaptation has prepared you for your future that will require more than just the practical skills of yesterday. You have begun to develop skills that will far exceed the traditional face-to-face way of instruction and industry. Commencement speeches are usually filled with bad jokes, hokey advice, or Dr. Seuss quotes, but not today. Today, my small tip for each one of you is, moving forward in your life, make intentional choices. What does that mean? It means life is 1% of what happens to you and 99% of how you respond to it. What happens after you process your reality? Stay intentional with all your future decisions and be aware of potential results and consequences of each decision. Stay true and clear on who you are and what you are striving to become. Do not let circumstance, fear, or people stop you from living the life you are committed to. In closing, all of you have earned the right to graduate. You have also earned the right to chart your path and live your best life. You are unstoppable. You have been proven that more than any other graduating class in recent history, your unselfishness and sacrifice is your brand and legacy. Those traits combined with grit and love will allow you to accomplish whatever you seek to do in life. Congratulations to you, the Edsel Ford High School Class of 2020. I am confident and excited to watch you shape and create this new reality for us all.